comics, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Nightclub Issue 4 by Image. Now, there is fighting, a bit of violence, blood, drinking blood, shooting, and vampires in this one. So, if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the creative team. Now, it took me a while to get back to Nightclub because I couldn't remember what pile issue 4 was in. Now I'm finally back. For what I remember from issue 3, our three heroes, Danny, Sam, and Amy, were following some group of Nazis. They'd found their building and were confronting them. But then the Nazis, in order to escape, threw some kind of bomb. And, well, the building was starting to catch fire and starting to explode. And the three teenagers were trying to save everyone. So we begin this issue with, looks like the building exploded and everything collapsed. And there's rescuers all around looking for people. One of them yells he has found Danny. He's holding the baby that he was holding at the end of issue 3. They take the baby, the rescuers, and they take Danny. Danny tries to tell them, no, you know, it can't be in the sun. They have to stay covered. Two paramedics get him into the ambulance. They tear his shirt off, and there's a hole, and they're like, how the hell is he still alive? And they're like, we need to take you to the hospital. So they do, they drive him to the hospital, but as they get him out with the gurney, he's starting to catch fire because he's now exposed to the sun. I still don't fucking understand how a bit of fabric is enough to keep him safe. Any of them, but never mind. So he starts, he's aflame now, he's caught on fire, and he's trying to get into the hospital to be away from the sun. And he tells people, just let me go in and I'll be fine. He goes in, obviously people freak out. A cop that's in there takes his gun out and starts shooting at Danny, putting bullets in him, and Danny falls down. And the cop and other people gather around him like, what the hell just happened? We go quickly to Sam and Amy. They're also being rescued. Amy can still walk, but Sam is pretty badly injured. Amy is smart. She says they have some sort of condition, so they have to stay covered against the sun. It's a shame she wasn't together with Danny at that moment. But yes, she joins Sam in the ambulance, and she tells him, don't worry, I have a plan. And he's like, Amy, don't do this. And she just throws the two paramedics out of the car as it drives. Like, what the... Okay, I mean, I know they're stupid teenagers. But come on, couldn't you have just... Well, to be fair, they probably don't know how to hypnotize, because she could have just hypnotized them to keep driving, drop them off, and make them forget that Amy and Sam were there, even. But yeah, she throws them out, starts driving, the police is after them. She spots some kind of, maybe some sort of a warehouse or some kind of factory, maybe. She drives them in there. The police arrive, but all they see is the ambulance. And they're looking for them, and they're both hiding underground. They're like a net on the floor, and they're both there. Sam is, again, very badly injured, is losing blood. And he needs to replenish his blood. And Amy says, don't worry, we'll just get some blood and we'll get out of here. And he says, how? She tells him, I have it delivered. And you see a bunch of rats going towards them. And he's like, ew, I'm not eating rats. And she said, blood is blood, you have to. So you see them both starting to munch on the rats. Before that, the one of the policemen said, okay, spread around, look for them. They can't be far. We go back to Danny. He wakes up in the morgue. He's like, hey, what's going on? Who's here? And you see policemen outside of the door, barricading it. And okay, I get it, this was probably fucking weird. But why? How did they know to barricade him? That after they shoot him, did he start moving? Did his wounds heal immediately? How did it go from that one policeman shooting him down to suddenly there being 5 of them, and they're locked him up in the morgue? What happened in between? That's the kind of stuff we need to see. Like, what led to that? Anyway, yes, the Danny's there, he's looking around, there's a corpse of a fat guy there, completely nude. Danny looks at him and sees his dick, like, ew. Well, is this rated teen? It should be, right? But yeah, and he starts talking to the police, he's like, come on, just let me out of here. I can explain. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. And like, stay in there. And then Danny thinks, okay, all I need to do is just turn into mist and get out of here. But he's also low on blood and too weak to do that, so he tries to suck the blood out of the dead corpse of the guy. As he tries that, they have somehow, I guess they have security footage there. So the policeman outside asks, what is he doing in there? It's someone who's in the control room or something. And he says, well, that's the wild thing. I can't see. All I see is a pair of pants. So yeah, Danny tries drinking the blood of the corpse, but it doesn't work. Has to be fresh. I don't know how long that guy's been dead. And then he starts to get desperate and aggressive and start really banging on the door and says, let me out of here. And they're like, shit, what do we do? Then out in the reception room of that hospital, you see one of the nurses looks up at reception and sees a bunch of bats all over, and people are freaking out, like, what's going on? Then back to the policeman, the vampires materialize into the detective. His surname starts with L. I'm just gonna call him Detective L, fuck it. So Detective L has finally reappeared after leaving his young vampire charge alone to his own devices. What a fucking idiot. He punches the cops, not gently, mind you, and then opens the door and gets to Danny. And he's like, what the hell have you been doing? He's all angry like. Then a police lady arrives. She said, put your hands up or else I'll have to shoot you. And then he turns to her and uses his vampire hypnosis and says, knock yourself out, sweetheart. And she just bangs her head against the wall. Poor thing. Then he grabs Danny and tells him, come on, let's get out of here before I kill you myself. Back at the hideout, where Danny has spent his transformation, he throws Danny at the floor, and you see that Sam and Amy are chained up and are already there. And he sits, the Detective L sits on the couch, the chair, and on a chair. And says, you little pricks, you know how much trouble you're in? He says there, his eyes all glowing green. And that's it. That's where the issue ends. Alright, first the cover. I quite like the concept of this cover. It looks really cool. You see him with the mask and blood. I wish the scene itself was as cool as this cover. His feet look a little funky, but I suppose they are of dead people, so fair enough. Good colors, too, all very dark, like blues and greens. Everything's really cold, like you'd imagine a morgue to be. And I'll show you the art. There we go. Ah, look. There's a rescue. Look at the little baby. See, Danny's protected it. And their names sound way too close to the characters from Danny Phantom, and I keep thinking about them. Hey, see, doesn't he look like he's kind of screaming? Okay, I guess he is, but why does he close his eyes? There, you see, they're getting him out of there. The paramedics. Hey, I like the art style. You see, poor Danny. I like this art style. Said before. Oh, there we go. That's what was the art. Okay, on to the story. So, alright, I don't get the progression of the story. I'm 4 issues in, and it. Okay, so this whole thing started with Danny doing something fucking stupid. And then Detective L somehow, I don't know, finding out about it, going into the hospital, and deciding to turn him into a vampire. And okay, he's looking for, soldiers, fine. But then he fucks off. Then we have an issue of Danny turning his friends to vampires and doing all sorts of shenanigans. Then we find out in issue 3 that maybe Detective L is evil or something. Well, definitely he's about to kill a kid and her family with other vampires. And has some old vampire bitch with him in a coffin. And now this issue, where this is the aftermath of what happened in issue 3 with the building and everything. It's just, where the fuck is this going? I mean, how is it gonna wrap up? There's 2 more issues left, and I have no clue where this is gonna go. It has no consistent direction of where, how is this gonna, what is the point? I mean, usually you focus on the main character, on the story, how did he become a vampire. In this case, being turned into one. Just, I don't know where this is going. And listen, the gall of Detective L to even be pissed. He left a fucking stupid teenager that he turned into a vampire on his own. Dude, what did you think? He was gonna sit there like a good little. Fuck, even puppies don't sit quietly. What, he was just gonna sit there and wait for you? Come on, dude. You picked a teenager. Most of them are stupid. It's just a story, but it annoys me. It's like, dude, how can you be angry? You're the adult. You're supposed to know not to leave him on his own. At least get another vampire, to watch over him so he doesn't do anything stupid. Like filming himself, doing stunts that a human can't, and turning 2 of his friends into vampires. By the way, how the fuck did he find Sam and Amy? I mean, he said he's a detective. Does that mean he still works in the force? Maybe that's how he found them. But it's just, it's so pissed. Do you know how much trouble you're in? Why didn't you watch them? Or Danny? You should have stayed with Danny. Or better yet, why did you turn him? I mean, it's not like Danny is a grown man that, I don't know, maybe, and still did something stupid, but he would have been a grown man and know not to turn his friends into vampires. I get it, it's part of the story, but it's like, where is this going? Okay, you need soldiers. What more? Because the first issue made it all sound really cool, Oh, he's gathering troops, or the next issue we're going to see him, I don't know, Danny meeting more vampires or something, and, maybe seeing how his friends live on without him and shit like that. Nah, Detective L just fucking fucks off. Because reasons. Doesn't even threaten Danny with you better not do anything without me here. I get it, Danny probably wouldn't have stayed sitting anyhow, but still. And now both of them are turned, Sam and Amy are vampires, and now what? Does this mean that they're just gonna stay vampires and join this cause or try to fight against Detective L? Is Detective L actually evil? I mean, I don't imagine a vampire doesn't want to. Although I guess they're maybe starting a war against other vampires or something, so they wouldn't really give a shit about humans. But what does it mean then? Or maybe they're trying to start devouring humans. How is it gonna work? There's just no clear direction. And this started with okay, focusing on Danny. He did this something stupid. He's like, now what? Oh, here's an opportunity. Because again, the detective didn't even really ask him. He just turned him into a fucking vampire. And Danny asked for it because he's like, shit, I don't want to stay the rest of my life being paralyzed. Fine, but this gets all the responsibilities on Detective L for being so stupid. So yeah, I'm confused where the fuck this is gonna go. Because it seems so promising in the beginning, and now it's just turning into a confusing mess. Kind of like with Clear. No, also by Image. Was it? Yeah, it was also by Image. So yeah, I'm not done with the story yet, but so far I'm a little bit disappointed in how this is going. Who knows? Maybe the last two issues will make it all make sense, and it'll end up at least being cool. But so far, yeah, I'm not. I don't think it doesn't seem like it's gonna turn out to be even a fun vampire story, much less a classic or something. So yeah, this was Nightclub issue 3. Let me think. Something else I wanted to add. Now, I mean, I am interested to see at least how this would wrap up. What's gonna happen in the next issue in terms of okay, he's gonna yell at them, or what's he gonna do to them? And after that, what? I guess I'll find out. Alright, folks, so let me know if you read issue 4 and what you think about it. And that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!